O2 Business Insider with Travis Filing and Gary Tharnish on 1499.3 KLIN.
And good morning, Lincoln. You're listening to the 402 Business Insider. If you guys haven't gone outside yet, trees are down, lots of traffic lights are down, so just be prepared. I came down O Street from outside of town. I think 70th Street was out, 66th was out, 48th was out. It's like every other traffic light was out.
Yeah.
And everybody, do people not know what to do when a traffic light is out?
They do not.
I mean, I sit there and sometimes they don't go, and then sometimes 20 people go. Yeah. It's a four-way stop, people.
I'm like, it's not a square about. You know, okay, just figure it out. It's a four-way stop. Take your caution, so on and so forth.
Exactly. It drives me nuts.
Lots of power out today, too, like 33,000 earlier.
Yeah, I heard power,
that. So it's not going to be any fun.
I must have slept through it, and I don't sleep. We didn't get it as bad outside of town, so it must not have been that bad down in the southern part of the county. So unbelievable.
Well, they say North Lincoln got more wind than south, so you might not have had much of anything down there.
Might not have. All right, well, today our sponsors are Wyuka Cemetery and Lincoln Coin and Bullion. I, of course, am Travis Filing with Transformation Marketing, and with me as always Gary Tharnish from Home Design Real Estate Group. So glad you guys could make it in. And with us is Tim Kirkpatrick. Now, Tim used to own Office Interiors and Designs, now is a business consultant, kind of semi-retired, right?
That is absolutely correct. 10 years ago, sold that company.
Nice.
And, it's been a lot of fun.
Yeah. Very good. Well, one thing that we do now is we started opening our show with business lessons in the news. And this is our 5th week, I think, that we've done this.
Yeah,
and I wanted to change it a little bit. And I thought, you know what? We have guests, they're business owners. They might have a unique spin on this as well. So let's start this off with our business lesson in the news. I know it seems like I'm picking on the WNBA. I'm not. The poor WNBA, they can't seem to catch a break, you know?
Oh, man. Initially, when this all happened with them, they should have immediately hired a high-powered PR team and got on top of it, and they haven't.
Yeah.
And it's just gotten to be hilarious.
Well, and a lot of this stuff isn't really their fault. I mean, the pay us what you owe us is kind of what kicked it off.
Right.
Which wasn't the WNBA. It was the employees, the players. And then Gatorade had the disastrous marketing, which that was Gatorade, right? That wasn't, but I think that hurt the WNBA more than
still
it hurt.
Tied to it. Yeah.
Yeah. And now fans have taken to throwing marital aids on the court.
Telling you what, which is hilarious. And the fact that in Vegas people are betting more on what color the next marital aid will be, as opposed to the game itself, is a testament to unintended consequences when you're doing something that, like coming out with the t-shirts.
Well, and that was one of the business lessons.
Right.
I mean, we had talked about that when the Coldplay Kiss Cam happened, right? And Coldplay went, "Oh, hey, here's an opportunity. Let's make hay." So then they released a bunch of dates. They started pushing their music back out. Downloads were through the roof.
Concerts sold out.
Yeah. Be ready for the opportunity. Yeah. And somebody in Vegas went, "Wow, that was 3 green ones in a row. I wonder what the odds are of it being a 4th." And I saw they're actually taking more bets on the color than the outcome of the games.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. My favorite, and somebody's been arrested, right? Delbert.
Yeah.
Is his name or something like that?
Yes.
So I want to be in the courtroom when the prosecutor stands up and is like, "Your Honor, in front of you today is Delbert Johnson, and he was arrested for assault with a happy weapon."
Yes.
Upon booking him, we found out that he didn't have a happy weapon carry permit.
Somebody told me that when he got arrested, he goes, "What are the charges?" And one of the charges was assault, because I guess he grazed somebody on the calf with it. And so he goes, "You're charging me with assault?" And they go, "Yeah, you hit somebody with it." And he goes, "Oh, so I'm being arrested for being the most accurate shooter at a WNBA game?"
Right. It just gets worse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And here's a little side lesson. When the police officer says you have the right to remain silent, go ahead and exercise that right. So that's not a business lesson, just a life lesson. But the one thing that I wanted to talk about with this is recognizing a crisis. And I don't know if the WNBA realizes, in my opinion, what an absolute crisis they're in, because the dominoes are just falling. The pay us what you owe us. They lost, was it 30 or 40 million dollars last year?
Oh, they have yet to make money.
Yeah.
I mean,
30 years. They lose money every year. Fans are now throwing stuff on the court. They can't sell tickets very well. It's a crisis. And we've all had crises in our business. And I look at it and go, okay, first lesson, we got to recognize something is seriously wrong. And what's the solution? I mean, Tim, if you were running the WNBA today, what would your thoughts be? What would some of your first thoughts be to help manage this?
Well, the first thing you got to do is you got to get the fans back, and increased sales solves a lot of problems with a lot of companies and businesses. And so you got to figure out how to get that fan base back. And the PR firm that could manage this thing kind of reminds me of the old, what was it? The Bud Light.
Oh, yeah.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
Another good example.
Yeah.
When you see a problem, you just can't ignore it. You have to get on it right away.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, they didn't hop on the offensive, and they're not really on the defense either. It's almost like as if they're blinded to this whole thing. It's not a good thing.
Yeah. It's almost like, let's just hide under the covers.
Yeah.
And it'll all blow over. That doesn't happen.
We used to call that, is it the ostrich that puts their head in the sand?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Yes. The ostrich effect. There you go. Don't do that. And that can happen to any business in any number of ways, especially now with the social media. I mean, if that kicks off, somebody says something about your business, true or not, or you sell a product that now has a bad rep, and all of a sudden locally you need to be on top of that and make sure social media doesn't get out of hand, and you need a PR firm for that, really.
Yeah.
And especially the WNBA,
right.
I mean, regardless. But
and I think back, like one of the major crisis within our business, one of our clients, we used to do the marketing for a pizza chain, national pizza chain, and we did it in the Midwest. But the owner of this pizza chain came out, and he was talking about Obamacare, and he came out hard against Obamacare. I have personal feelings on it, but it doesn't matter. He had personal feelings on it. He should have kept his mouth shut, because one thing that people loved Obamacare and people who hated Obamacare had in common was
pizza.
They all eat pizza.
Right.
And so somebody thankfully got to him and said, shut up.
Yeah.
And then it was a nightmare. I mean, sales tanked, their stock tanked. It's always bad. But yeah, that's when we pulled and we started making our advertising very, very local for all the different markets, because we wanted to get away from the national spotlight.
Correct. Sure.
We recognized something was going wrong and we made a shift. So when you own a business and you start seeing problems, you got to meet them head on. You got to do something with it.
Well, one of the problems with the national franchise is you're tied to that franchise.
Yeah,
so if something happens in New Jersey with your franchise, it's happening to you here in Lincoln. You need to know how to pivot, what to do. Having a good you need a good marketing team. Hire a company. That's definitely one of the first failures I made in business was not really getting on top of marketing or talking to people about it. I was like, oh, I love this sounds really good, and I was doing this and that and this and that and this. There was no unity to anything I was doing. It was just a mess. So lots of lessons in this.
Yes, there are. Very good. Well, that was fun. I've definitely. Have you guys placed your wager yet on the next?
No, I have not. I have not. Oh my God.
My son's like, I should place a bet and then go to a game and fire one out onto the court. And I'm like, well, that's one way to go.
Yeah.
Well, another way to think about it though is another unintended consequence is this isn't going to get more people to the games. It's going to get more people watching YouTube or betting, but it's not going to get more butts in the seat, which like Tim said, the number one thing they need is more people attending the games, period.
Yeah. And how do you get those fans back? I mean, I don't know what you do. I mean, do you lean into it? Do you laugh along with them, even though they're laughing at you? I don't know.
I don't have the answer. Winning, I know, helps a lot with the local franchise.
Correct.
We're seeing that. Who was it? Our athletic director just yesterday said, you know, we're here to win. If we're not here to win, let's get out.
Right.
Yeah.
So
Exactly.
You know,
Yeah, definitely. I mean, that's a huge part of it.
Yeah, you got to do something, and I'd be curious. Hopefully, we won't have to talk about the WNBA
Right.
for business lessons in the news anytime soon, or if we do, it's positive.
Yeah.
That they've kind of turned this thing around.
Well, and the other thing is class warfare is a big thing. You should have really thought before you came out in t-shirts when you're in the top probably 5% of people getting paid in the United States
right.
that said, I don't need enough money. And class warfare is a thing, right? I mean, it's been a political tool for centuries.
And that's something that got me too, because when you look at, you remember Colin Kaepernick, he was kneeling during the Pledge of Allegiance, and everybody was up in arms about it, and it really shot the NFL in the foot. When you have employees that are kind of going rogue, they are coming out and they are doing something that goes against your brand. You as a business owner, you got to step up to the plate. You got to take it head on. I remember we had a point where we had people within our company that we had a mass exodus because they poisoned the well. You get a lot of employees, things go really bad. You got to meet it head on. And sometimes there's nothing else that you can do. But if you don't, then you're just slowly circling the drain and waiting for the other shoe to drop. And it's scary. It is very, very scary. Well, we've got a break coming up here, so let's run to that real quick. You're listening to the 402 Business Insider. Travis Filing, Gary Tharnish, talking with Tim Kirkpatrick today. We're going to talk a little bit about the office company, the office furniture company, and then we're going to talk a little bit about business consulting. Also, make sure to go onto our website, like us on Facebook. I keep forgetting to tell people to get on Facebook and like us. So please do it. And we will catch you right after the break.
KLIN.
Welcome back to the 402 Business Insider, this stormy morning that we had here.
Yeah, buddy.
If you're trying to get around town and the power's out, it's a four-way stop. Treat
Yes.
it like a four-way stop.
Please.
This segment's sponsored by the Lincoln Airport. They've got the new Breeze airline coming in here. Yeah,
That's
round
gonna be
trips
great.
to Orlando. That'll be fun. Get your tickets booked early. I think I originally heard December 10th was the
I think
takeoff
that's right.
date. I think so. Anyway, do
Like
that.
$79.
Yeah, and then also sponsored by the UPS stores. We love that place. They gave us our big heads, which is mine floats around the office now, by the way.
Is it still on the
I
move?
tell you what, yeah, I'm becoming everybody's worst. They're like, get your face out of my office. It's kind of a hilarious thing. And we just got new business cards from them. For the
just
402
ordered new business
Insider.
cards or new. I ordered some new thank you notes, and they do absolutely everything, and they're handy.
Yeah.
They're easy. They're inexpensive. They can design things for you. Go check them out. UPS stores, 5 Lincoln locations. I saw they're opening one up that's kind of close to me out there by Menards,
Oh,
kind
yeah,
of
I
across
heard
the
that.
street.
Yep. Andermatt area.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that'll be
Yep.
a great location, especially
Sure.
for me.
Well, our guest this morning is a friend and also a wonderful business person, been a part of Lincoln and business for a long time. Tim Kirkpatrick, how are you today?
I'm doing great. I'm
Well,
glad to
good.
be here.
Well, good. So give us a little bit. How did you start Office Interiors and when? Or did you buy it as an existing business?
It was 30 years ago.
Okay.
And I had worked for another company here in town, and they were going in a little different direction, I guess.
Okay.
And they were losing focus of the customers. And I remember going to one of the managers one day, and I says, what are we? Are we a software house? Are we what do we do? Because we're not taking very good care of the customer. And they're still in business today. So they've got new people in there, and they've, I think, probably turned that situation around. But I felt like we were not doing a great job with our clients, and they deserve better. And so left one day and did something that was probably crazy, went into competition against them.
Yeah.
Right.
They were established. They had money. They had the name recognition. They had everything. And myself and my wife and a third salesperson left. And we put a business plan together. It took about 100 days. And I think about 10 people knew we were going to do this. Our parents did not know. I mean, we didn't tell anybody anything. I mean, let's see, you had to have a phone number. Okay. So I had a contact at the phone company, and we have to have some business cards printed out. So obviously they knew, but it was a very, very, very short list of people that actually knew we were going to do this.
And it's funny because parents are like, my parents, when I said we were starting a business, they were like, "Are you sure? Do you really want to do this? This is
a lot of negativity."
Yeah, because it's scary.
Risk. Yeah.
I mean, you're going out on thin ice going, I think it'll hold.
Yeah.
And your parents go, just draw a paycheck, because that was their generation.
Yeah. And then also listen to all the people that are in their 68th summer who are like, I wish I would have started my own business. I wish I was the boss. I wish I had done something different.
Yeah.
So it is a different time now. I mean, we really promote entrepreneurship. You see it in the high schools, programs, and I think that's helpful. But anyway, so 100 days and you opened.
It was called Office Interiors and Design.
Yeah.
And they are still in business today. I've been gone for 10 years. So both those companies that I spend a lot of time with, 20 years with each of them, are both very successful, ongoing concerns. And I feel good having left the company that I started with my partners on some pretty firm foundation. And I don't have a lot of contact with them today, but I am extremely proud of them. You talk about crisis, and they went through COVID, and they went through some of the things that I didn't have to go. Now, we had our own challenges, believe me.
Right.
We had lots of them.
2008.
But 2008, I remember that meltdown.
9/11. 9/11 was big because the world just stopped.
It was.
Yeah.
Everything's and what's the big thing now is tariffs. So we've been through that. At least I have. We were selling furniture to clients that had a worldwide footprint. And so, okay, well, we're opening an office in London. Okay, well, that's fine. Yeah, we'll get your furniture over there. Absolutely no problem. This is easy. Well, there's something called the value added tax. And all of a sudden, I think it was 19% added to my price that the local guy in London didn't have to do. I mean,
right.
Yeah, it was real. Okay.
The good old VAT tax.
Yep.
There was a VAT tax, and we learned about that, learned about international currency. Sometimes it works in your favor. Other times it didn't. After that, I decided we had to have a new policy. From now on, all quotes will be in US dollars.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah,
We got
There's a
paid.
lesson.
Honest to God, we got paid in rupees, something one day from a project we did in India. I mean,
What are these things?
yeah, well, it is just
They said
nuts.
it's jewelry.
Every day was a learning experience, which I really liked.
Yeah.
I liked the learning experience. I thought that was fun.
And you're kind of playing the commodities market too, because it fluctuates. The currencies fluctuate.
Yes, but that's not how I intended to make money. We intended to make money just selling our product and our services. And this currency game, that's not for me.
That's not a business I'd want to be
No, and it wasn't one. It's just,
Well, variables in business is never a real happy thing that you got to deal with, right? I mean, you want to know what your costs are and the whole ball of wax. I was thinking about Sears the other day. Sears going out of business, they were the original Amazon, right? You could order off the catalog, you could do all that. Yeah. Then they got to a point where they're like, free shipping? Nobody's ever going to do free shipping. We're not going to do free. Now, Sears gone.
Yeah. Didn't adapt.
Yeah.
So now, in your 100 days, when you decided this company is going in the wrong direction, I have a better idea. Did you just walk out the door? Did you start putting a business plan together and then at the 100 days walk out the door? Tell us a little about that process.
Okay. So my wife, she came, her father was a cattle rancher. Okay. Independent, tough guy. And boy, he didn't want to work for anybody. He'd worked, and my wife, kind of the same thing. Well, by the time I get to be a certain age, I don't want to be working for anybody else. Okay. I'm going to do my own thing. And I'm like, fine, go do your own thing. I'm quite happy where I am. We met each other at work, so we worked together. And she decided she was going to leave, and then I was fine until, get this, you guys are in sales, you understand this, they changed the commission plan.
Ooh.
I had been on a great commission plan for, I think, 19 years at that point. And when they changed it, it made me nuts. And the ironical thing about this is, under the new and improved plan, I was going to make more money. And it made the owner crazy.
Sure.
And so I just said, well, it's your plan. If you don't like it, change it.
Right.
So we started our own company. And oh, by the way, we copied that plan that I had been on for 19 years.
And that's something that we will definitely talk about, because that can be an absolute killer for business.
Yep. Well, we're going to head out to a break here. And on the other end, we're going to come back and have a new little segment called 5 Takeaways Plus Growth and Success. So we'll see you on the other end.
Entrepreneurs, one conversation at a time. 402 Business Insider on 1499.3 KLIN.
And we're back on the 402 Business Insider. Travis Filing, Gary Tharnish, and today we're talking with Tim Kirkpatrick. And is it Kirkpatrick Consulting? Is that the consulting?
Yes.
Okay. So we are kind of starting a few new segments. I'm excited about it.
Yeah.
This one is going to be interesting. It's available for sponsorship, by the way, for listeners and guests in the studio.
Okay.
That would be you, Tim. That would be you.
Great. A sales call. Okay.
You didn't know you were on a sales call, did you?
Sunday morning or Saturday morning. Here we are.
Your worst nightmares are coming true, Tim. Sign here.
But this, yeah. Have you ever heard of Amway? Oh, Jesus.
Oh, my Lord.
So this new segment we're doing, it's called 5 Takeaways. We wanted to get these business owners in to give 5 pieces of advice. Could be quick. It could take the whole segment. Something that they could take away and apply to their business right away. So it's going to be the same 5 questions to every guest. And so one of the questions is, what is some of the best advice for managing and growing a team? It's a tough one.
Yeah. Managing and growing a team. First of all, my style of management is kind of a hands-off situation. I try to hire really, really smart people, give them the tools that they need, and get out of their way.
There you go. That's great. Exactly.
You know, you overpay them just a little bit if they're good, so they don't start looking around. But and that was useful. You know, that loyalty thing, which doesn't exist hardly anywhere anymore. But it's interesting. I look at the current roster of employees, you know, since I've been gone over 10 years, there's a couple of them that are ones that we hire.
Yeah.
One of them we hired literally 50 years ago.
Yeah.
Or no, 30 years ago. That's better.
Okay. Good.
My math is fuzzy.
As I was going, ooh, you've seen that many summers?
No. Okay. 30 years ago. And so, you know, and it's great to see that, but building a team, you know, it's chemistry. It is chemistry. One of the things that I did learn early on, and everything I've learned, I've stolen from somebody else, either a book or, you know, I used to have what they called books on tapes, and now I guess they're a podcast or something. But, you know, if you can take something away, you know, I think it was Jay Wilkinson here in town. He told me once, he said, you want to hire to your company's, and I'm not saying this right, but you want to hire to your company's personality, and the fact that they don't know anything about your industry, you can teach that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Correct.
Versus the person that has all this industry experience, you know, I mean, they've been selling these widgets for 18 years and you're a widget guy, and but they've been to 5 different people there. Well, there might be a reason, you know,
and right. If they don't fit your culture, that's the big thing.
Culture,
you don't want somebody that comes in and just takes your culture and tears it apart. Most business owners are pretty scared to hire people maybe more successful than them, or that know more than them in different areas. But that's exactly what you want to do. Then, like you said, Tim, just back off and let it happen.
Yeah, let them do it. Well,
yeah.
I've always said what we do, marketing's easy. It comes really easy to us.
For us.
It's one of those that we can sit down, we can come up with campaigns. I can teach marketing. I can't teach get to work at 8 a.m. That's either in you or it's not. I can't teach, get along with other people. You're looking for people. You're not looking for a particular set of skills, because a lot of those skills are teachable. So
Sure.
That's a great piece of advice. So the next question is one thing every office needs to operate efficiently.
Coffee. Oh,
Coffee.
sorry, that wasn't for
Definitely
me.
coffee.
I'm sorry, that wasn't for me. Go ahead, Tim.
Gee, do they still have offices, or does everybody work remote anymore? So
Well, it's
and
really
that's
changing.
That's an interesting point.
Look at Pfizer, for example. They had everybody working from home before it was a thing, long before COVID. And now they've brought everyone back. And I was showing homes to people from Wisconsin, Texas, Florida, Idaho, all coming back to Lincoln. So it's a real mix. I know my daughter's 3 in and 2 out every week. So 3 at home, 2 at the office. Next week, 3 at the office, 2 at home. Yeah, it's a whole new world.
It is.
But what you do need at the office is you need some cohesion. You need to have a common goal. And all the people in your office need to understand what that common goal is. And, years ago, it was very in fashion to have a mission statement. I believe in mission statements to this day. I think they're extremely important.
I do as well.
Everybody knows why we're here. And I wasn't big on a lot of meetings, but if we had a meeting, first thing we did is we start with a mission statement. So why are we here? Well, we're here to talk about health insurance or the 401k or something totally unrelated to furniture. No, we are here, and we would read the mission statement or have someone read it. And it was posted, and that was helpful. And one of the best examples I can think of is I remember early on, I don't know what was going on. My wife, who working with your wife is another challenge. Like, that's a whole nother show.
No way.
Yeah.
But she was having some issue. I don't know what it was. And she comes running into my office and wanted to know how to handle whatever. And I was on the phone with something else handling whatever I was handling, and I just looked at it and I said, go read your mission statement. And I turned away from her.
Oh my God.
Later that night, we're at home, and I remembered that. And I says, oh, what was it that you wanted to talk to me about?
Oh, no.
And she says, oh, I handled it. I got it all solved. Okay. All she had to do is focus a little bit about why we're here. And I mean, and it became crystal clear.
Yeah.
The answer,
she
knew the answer as soon as she picked up on that. And so I think, what does every office need? It needs a common goal. I don't care. It could be a football team, could be an office, could be, any organization, but you have to have that focus.
Yeah. If you're not focused on where you're headed, you're never going to get there.
And a mission statement. Yeah. And it can't be just slapped together. You can't just figure it out on your drive to work. It takes some thought.
Took us about 4 months to write ours, but we're slow.
That's too.
Well, that's probably, I was going to say, it probably took us at
it,
least a couple of months to write ours.
It did. And ours is, it's probably too long or whatever, but it was important. And, I'd have the guys, we had these installers that could put the furniture together out in the field, and, I'd put it in their toolbox, they open up their toolbox. So it was in front of them all the time.
Yeah.
And no, I think having that common goal, and you can talk to anybody about that. John Cook.
My flower shop one was Burton and Terrell's Flowers is Lincoln's first choice for our all of life's special occasions. And that would be my tagline at every radio ad. And I remember Amy Graham calling me up and going, man, I'm getting calls from other flower shops wanting to know where did you really get first choice? Where did that come from? Are you really did you win an award or whatever? And I go, it's our vision statement. I mean, that's our vision statement, right? So it was hilarious.
And we're the first ones here. So if you don't like it, then come out your second.
Yeah.
And ours was to become the preferred provider.
Perfect.
Not the exclusive provider, because you can't be all things to all
you're not going to get them all.
Yeah. But you want to be thought of first. And that's a good position to start out.
Yeah, when people needed office furniture, you wanted them to be prompted to call you.
Yes.
They're your preferred.
Yeah.
Cool.
All right. Third question is, what makes a vendor or partner worth sticking with?
Boy, that's tough.
It can be.
It's tough for me, and I'm going to tell you why it's tough for me, because I see what they call partners, And partnership works two ways. And I remember we had a vendor that wanted us to do X, Y, Z, and it was all going to be very expensive, and that was fine. And my partners would say, well, we need to do X, Y, or this, we need to do that. And I said, all right, why are we here? If we're here to take care of the customer, we're going to be just fine. Now, if we're here to make the vendor happy, let's just shut the doors today.
Yeah,
that's right.
And
go work for them.
There was, I mean, sometimes I'd get a little probably out of line, but they knew what I meant. I said, the fact that they want us to have all this inventory, well, that's great, but is that serving our customer? Our resources need to be taking care of the client.
Sure.
We were one of those organizations that you see the traditional organization chart where we're, well, here's the president and the CEO, and it filters down executive vice president. We turned ours and it was very flat, but it was upside down. We had our customers at the top. We had our frontline people, whoever's having contact with those customers. The owners were at the bottom. The shareholders were at the bottom of this thing. It was about your priorities, taking care of customers first and thinking of them as customers. You're in the rental business, and as have I been, you may be, I don't know. But one of the things that really helped me in doing that is when I stopped referring to my tenants as tenants and started calling them my customer. My attitude greatly changed, and I became a better landlord.
Yeah.
Just by changing their name.
What's funny is for our buildings and our residential rentals, we don't call them tenants. It's Matt's building, because Matt's paying the rent. That's his building. We need to do this or that at Matt's building. And it really makes you understand that, I own the building, but it's Matt's building.
Right.
And that is something that really is important, because it's all about being in it for the consumer, the customer.
Well, another thing that used to happen is we had 3-4 delivery trucks, and the place that I had worked at previously, there was kind of a total disregard for that asset, if you will. And the interiors are shredded wheat, and there's fast food containers all over everywhere. What I would do is
Gary's car, I think.
Okay, well, what I would do is
I just had it detailed.
What I would do is I'd go get a little stick-on quick sign thing, and I'd put their name on the door. All of a sudden, that's my truck. Magically, that truck got taken better care of.
Isn't that interesting?
Magically,
I would have never even thought of doing something like that.
It just said, Dave and whatever. Now it's kind of interesting. The other thing. Well, go on with your question.
Yeah. So let's talk red flags. What would you, a red flag in business owners often ignore, like marital aids being thrown? Did that ever happen down there at the office interiors?
No, that didn't happen.
My gosh.
If something happens, fine, you deal with it. If it happens a second time, now you've got a red flag.
Yeah.
And what's really going on? And I was one of these people that, if you made a mistake, I was never really mad at you, as long as we learned from that.
Yeah,
mistake.
It's a learning process. Bingo.
And sometimes, they make some pretty expensive mistakes.
Sure.
You just don't come unscrewed. You just deal with it. But we learn from that process and we go forward. Now, if we make that same mistake again, now you've got a red flag. Something's wrong. And of course, I'd get very irritated. I'm like, didn't we already solve that problem?
Yeah.
Why don't you people bring me some new problems? Because I'm, bored over here.
Yeah. Yeah. This challenge again. We
know how to deal with that. And that was.
I think when I see in businesses and even in real estate with like some of the younger agents that I mentor is financial. Keeping track of the numbers or knowing what it means and addressing it right away instead of just thinking, we can just do this. We can just have more sales and we'll be fine. And really the numbers are failing, not because of sales, but because of something that's happening back here or in a different area. So I think that's a red flag businesses miss a lot.
One thing I think too that businesses miss is planning for the ebb and flow of business. I think when, like in marketing, most people don't switch agencies till the beginning of the year, right? So
Yeah.
you'll have months, we'll have months where it is, I mean, you're doing it in high cotton, right? Money's coming in, you're flush, the cash is there. But when January, February rolls around, there's not a lot of marketing going on in our business. It gets tight. Well, you got to start setting some of that money aside because
You know it's coming.
yeah, rainy days are coming
It's the
and
same in
snowy
real
days are
estate.
coming.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to plan for that. And I don't think a lot of business owners really think of that as time goes by. They just see it as, oh, it was just a bad time. They put their head down, they get through it. But you got to prepare for that.
I became a better leader in my business when I started realizing and watching the people working for me and knowing what an asset they were, maybe in one certain area or something. There's a very large company here in town that a very dear friend of mine works for, and they had a guy, let's say his name's Bob, worked for like 25 years. He worked in the evening when everyone else was gone, and they were in the logistics business. And this man was a miracle in taking care of logistic problems. So making sure product got from shipment A city to shipment B city, right?
Mm-hmm.
Did this for years to the point where it just kind of became something that happened, and leadership didn't really think about it. Bob retired a year later. Big challenges. What's the deal here? Stuff isn't getting when he's getting, and all of the people working in the logistic part said, Bob's gone.
Wow.
Remember Bob?
Yeah.
Worked here for 32 years. He's gone. And that was just his forte. So stuff like that as a leader, I think you really need to be aware of also.
Yeah.
We did a lot of what I called cross training. We were a small
Bingo.
company. We had maybe 20 employees. And the idea that, well, if Bob's gone, nothing gets shipped today. That's unacceptable.
Yeah.
Okay. So people were kind of cross trained. Interesting. You talk about that. We had a big delivery truck and it had a manual transmission, and that was great until the guy that had his name on the side of the door decides it's his 2-week vacation or whatever. The only other person that knew how to drive a manual transmission was me.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Hey, Tim, can you do this delivery today?
Right.
Well, I was working on your payroll, but what the heck? Let's go take care of the customer and you can just, not get a paycheck.
You're going to get paid on Monday instead of Friday.
Yeah.
This week.
So
Depending on the deliveries.
And I hope my daughter is listening right now because she cursed me up one side and down the other because I said you can't get a driver's license until you learn how to drive. I had an old Toyota Tacoma 5-speed. I said you can't get your license until you drive a stick.
There you go.
Got to drive a stick. Come on.
Yeah.
All right. So one more question. So how did you build a loyal, because you had a really loyal client base.
Yeah.
How did you build that? What were some of your tricks to building that?
First of all, you're not there to sell anything. You're there to solve a problem. They've got a problem. I don't know what their problem is, but you're going to find a solution to it. And you may need to bring in somebody from the outside because your toolbox doesn't have everything that you need. And as long as you're taking care of the client, they are just happy.
Mm-hmm.
And as they would grow and expand, there's never a question as to who they're going to call. I mean, that's how we got invited to different locations around the world as this company expanded, or different locations around the country. And we didn't let anything fall through the cracks. It was a very detail oriented business. And some people, they just come in and it's brush strokes, big ones, and they don't pay attention to the details. And I would say that was where we were really shining.
Yeah.
We were criticized by it. It's like, well, how come you have this very good salesperson who should be out doing these great deals, and you've got them worried about some of these other things? I says, because the customer expects it.
Yeah.
And they're never going anywhere else.
Yeah.
They're loyal.
Help them solve their problems. And I love that. That's, for, 25 years, we've done marketing for Sartor Heyman Jewelers, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we've never done the 4 C's thing, right? Because nobody rolled out of bed one morning and said, you know what I need today? I need some color, cut, clarity, and carrot. That's what I need in my life. They go, no.
That's very good that you know those.
I do know
No
those.
kidding.
I do
After
know
that many
those.
years, you should.
Yes. And I definitely got them when I bought my wife's ring, but I wasn't looking for that. I had a problem that I needed to solve, And that was, I was buying that wow factor. I needed to impress a girl. And so that's the solution I needed. So definitely when you're looking at building a loyal client base, make sure you're helping them solve problems.
That's right.
Right. Nobody woke up and said, I need a mattress. No, somebody woke up and said, my back is killing me. I need a better night's sleep.
That's right.
That's it. That's how you definitely take care of your that's how you build a loyal client base, is by taking care of your customers and solving their problems. Well, that took all of 17 minutes. And think, if somebody was sponsoring this, we'd have been talking about your business for 17 minutes. I absolutely love it. All right. So when we come back, I do want to go back to talking about the commission thing, because I think that is such an important thing. Monkeying with commissions, that can be absolute disaster. You're listening to the 402 Business Insider. Travis Filing, Gary Tharnish. We're talking with Tim Kirkpatrick of Kirkpatrick. That's kind of a tongue twister. Kirkpatrick Consulting.
That would be my wife's fault. She named the company.
See, you should have went to a marketing firm.
Oh, well.
I'm just teasing. I'd have probably came up with the same thing. We're going to be back right after this break, and don't go away.
402 Business Insider on 1499.3 KLIN.
Welcome back to the 402 Business Insider. I'm Gary Tharnish with Home Design Real Estate Group, and my co-host, of course, is Travis Filing with Transformation Marketing. And this segment is sponsored by Barry Law Firm and the Mendoza Family Insurance, two really great local companies here in Lincoln. That if you need any insurance or law, you want to head to those two places. They'll take good care of you. Our new segment now is going to be called The Unexpected Impact. So we need to get a car collision place in here or something for a sponsor for this. Would be perfect, right?
Or a business consulting firm.
How many times in business do you have that unexpected impact, right? Like we started off the show with the WNBA. That was a horrible unexpected impact for them. But our guest today is Tim Kirkpatrick. And Tim, let's address that a little bit. Any unexpected things that happened in your business, or no, never?
I'm sure not at all.
I mean,
you probably never had.
Well, over the 20 years, I've,
had one.
Yeah, right. No, there's always unexpected things that happen. And I can tell you, we talked a little bit about doing business overseas, trying to do business with, let's just say, the state of California and their sales tax. I mean, their revenue. Anyway, there's all kinds of things. But
sure.
Let's talk about a good unexpected consequence.
There you go. Sure.
There's those two.
So I was doing payroll for our company. I was paying them twice a month. And our payroll, because we had salaried people, we had commission people, we had hourly people, and it was kind of cumbersome and it wasn't really very efficient. And I was doing it all. And we used an outside processor so that I didn't make any mistakes. And it was kind of expensive for the number of employees that we had. And besides that, it was time consuming to me. And so I said, we're going to go to paying people once a month. They said, Tim, it'll never happen. You cannot do this. I said, I don't know. How often's your cell phone bill show up? How often's your, car payment due? How often everything's on a monthly basis? Gas, electric, not water, but I said, no, we're going to go to this. And I figured out a way to make it happen. I phased it in over a period of time. And what happened, it was an unintended consequence. I mean, I did it for me and it's cost savings and all that. I got smarter employees out of it. They're the same employees, but they learned to think longer term.
Yep.
And if they're thinking longer term about their finances or their home, and they were getting a big check, one big check, and then they knew that they had to manage that, they're also making better decisions in terms of just what they're doing at work. And they could look out, well, what are we doing this afternoon? Oh, what about next week or the week after? It was wonderful.
Everybody looked more long term.
That's interesting.
It was. I never saw that coming ever, but it was great.
Yeah, and for you, the great thing is instead of 26 payrolls, you only did 12.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it was again, and interestingly enough, I figured out, okay, we're going to save X amount of money by doing it that way. I took that, divided it by the number of employees, and I said, once you sign up for this, you're getting this as a bonus. So I'm not going to save any money the first year because I'm going to give it all away. but I'm going to see it the second year, third year, fourth year. And of course, that's fine. And
Sure.
I gave them lots of time. I say I phase it over 9 months because they've got automatic.
Yeah, it takes
deposits. So
time.
it did. And I didn't just spring it on them, but I think they got so that they really liked it.
So you gave them, you kind of figured out what it was costing you
I
to
knew
do
exactly
a payroll.
what it was costing me. Let's just say it's $150, and I'm gonna, cut out 12 times. That's $1,800. So I'm going to take $1,800. I'm going to split it among however many employees I had at the time.
That's interesting. Did everybody sign up for it?
They had no choice. But
that's one way to do it.
They could do it at their leisure. And I said, if come the end of the year, come January, anyone who has not signed up, you will be converted at that point and you will get the bonus. I think the last payroll I ran, I only had 2 people on it because everybody else had converted over. But yeah, they got converted
and it just saved a lot of headache.
It saved me time. It saved me all kinds of things. It made some money. But as I say, I got smarter employees.
Yeah.
They thought differently.
That's interesting. That's
Very
an incredible concept. And
Yeah.
I'm sitting here going, wow, where was this advice 25 years ago?
Well, and again, and I said I've stolen everything. That was actually me being lazy. That was me. I didn't get that idea from anybody else. I made that one up by myself.
Well, not so much lazy really too, though, as just, I did payroll for years myself, and it took a lot of time. And it's one thing you do not want to do is mess up somebody's check.
Yeah.
It just makes them like, I should have been checking the last 20 checks I got. Were there problems there too? You just don't want that to happen. It relieves a lot of stress, makes you a better owner, better manager of what you're doing because you're not under so much stress. I love the thought.
It's interesting, if you're a ball player, baseball player, and you get on base 4 out of every 10, you're a superstar. If you're in sales, you're closing 7 or 8 out of 10, you're a superstar. Try doing payroll and getting it right 90% of the time.
Right.
Try doing it 90% of the time, and it's like,
gonna do a lot of hiring.
The expectation, you talk about stress, you have to be 100% accurate 100% of the time.
Yeah, you absolutely do.
Correct.
Is that fair? The rest of you here are having that standard, but you expect it of me.
Oh, exactly.
Yeah. And payroll's tough. I can't tell you how many times we'll be sitting at home having dinner and Shannon will jump up and shout out something that I can't shout out on the radio and go, I forgot to do payroll. And back to the office you go because people are expecting, that auto deposit tomorrow, or sometimes it's a hand check or whatever it is. Yep. See you at midnight, honey.
We interviewed Echo from Bell Solutions. Remember that?
Yeah.
And she's my CFO, and it's great. I'm a realtor now. I have no other employees, but she just handles all that stuff, including my pay and taxes, and I just don't have to worry about it. It's wonderful.
Yeah, well, and the good thing for me is I don't get paid, so I don't. That's one good thing is, I don't get paid, so we don't have to worry about my payroll. But Shannon gets paid, so
I don't miss a paycheck. Oh, that's right. There isn't one.
And that's something else that I want to talk to you about is exiting a business. But I know we only got about a minute to go, so we can't jump in on it quite yet.
We've got a new segment coming up on the other end here after our break, which we have to go to in a minute. And it's called the needs for adjustments.
Yes.
When do you have to have an adjustment in your business? And we do have a new sponsor for that.
Yes, we do.
Ascend Chiropractic. Brian, Olivia, and their staff over there are amazing, and the other doctors there. But businesses need adjustments often. And one thing I think about with chiropractors is people are like, I'm not going to get adjusted. They could paralyze me or something, which never happens. I mean, that doesn't happen. But in business, sometimes we don't make a decision because of fear.
Yes.
So that's going to be a big thing in this. So coming up on the other end, we'll talk about it's time for This Needs an Adjustment.
That's right. Travis Filing, Gary Tharnish, you're listening to the 402 Business Insider, talking with Tim Kirkpatrick with Kirkpatrick Consulting, and we will be back with you right after this.
Stories of local success. 402 Business Insider on 1499.3 KLIN.
And we're back on the 402 Business Insider. Travis Filing, Gary Tharnish in with Tim Kirkpatrick. And this segment is brought to us by, I started shuffling papers around and I forgot. This segment is brought to us by Complete Family Dermatology and James Arthur Vineyard. So we appreciate you guys. This new segment is, I'm kind of excited about it. It's called This Needs an Adjustment. And it's brought to us by
Send Chiropractic.
Send Chiropractic. This just happened like yesterday.
Yeah.
So I'm like kind of scrambling, going, oh man, I gotta get all my notes in order here. But we are going to talk about something that in your business that needs an adjustment.
Right.
Because there's all the time, business is constantly moving and changing. And Ascend said, hey, you know what? We wanted to be a sponsor. And we came up with the idea going, hey, well, sometimes in life, you need an adjustment.
Correct.
And it's funny because when I was a kid, my father used to go into a chiropractor. Now, this back in the 70s, right?
Yeah.
And he would hobble in and he would get adjusted and they would bring him out in a wheelchair. Right. And I'm like, as a kid, you go, mental note, no for the chiropractor. Right. And so this is probably, I don't know, 6 or 7 years ago, I was in excruciating pain. My back was all messed up. And Shannon's like, you got to go to the chiropractor. I'm like, nah, I'm cool. Yeah. I've seen this firsthand. And so she calls the chiropractor, tells him why I am terrified to go to the chiropractor. Yeah. And then he calls me, right? And he goes, so I told him the story and he goes, Travis, if it makes you feel any better, I don't even have a wheelchair. And I laugh. I'm like, okay, all right. I like this guy. This guy's funny. And then, I started going to the chiropractor and you know what? That's good stuff.
Yeah, and a common misconception is that they can paralyze you, right? And the deal is that's not going to happen, but it's still
that'd probably be bad for business.
If you need an adjustment physically, go get it.
Yes.
So
yeah, absolutely. And it's amazing what they can help you with. You know what got me was when I was a kid, I wasn't the best kid in town.
No,
right? I know that's a shocker. Used to get into a few fist fights here and there, even won one once. But my jaw would click.
Yes.
The chiropractor actually adjusted that.
Sure.
And got it straightened out. Because you think chiropractic, you just think spine. My back hurts. That's it. Elbows, knees, ankles, jaws.
Well, Send Chiropractic, they can adjust your ears. They also do a lot of holistic healthcare, vitamins, supplements, things that are very important in your life. I mean, chiropractors don't just adjust anymore either.
Yeah, they do the whole. My daughter does the suction cup thing. I don't remember what that's called. Cupping. They do that. Yeah. There you go. Cupping. What a brilliant name for a product or service. It's almost like it's exactly what they do.
Yes.
So anyway, this needs an adjustment. Brought to us by Ascend Chiropractic. We are going to talk to Tim here. So now in your business, I'm sure several things have needed adjustments. Tell us about a story about something that happened within your business that needed an adjustment.
I think it was the owner, me, that needed an adjustment, and communicating that to my other two partners. We were in this big growth mode. We started this company back in 1995. We started mid-year. We were $1 million plus our first year. Well, I dabbled in rental properties and some sort of side hustles now and then, but I'd never run $1 million company before. And the next year we're 2 million. The next year we're 3 million. And so we had all these great plans with my partners, their dreams for expansion. And I'm saying, sure. Because I was a sales guy before. So you say yes to everything. And I got these two smart ladies, and they're both, really smart, really talented, really beautiful. And I'm just saying yes.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
Well, one day I looked at the borrowings, and I had a great relationship with a local bank here. And I'm looking at the amount of money that I've got borrowed. And this is what I had borrowed 5 years ago and what I had borrowed 5 years ago before that. And I went, all the way back to when I was a little kid. And when you don't know anybody, or you're a teenager, you might owe your buddy $20 or something. But I'm 7 figures in debt at this point, early 50s. So this 20 years ago. And I went to both of them and I said, I'm done borrowing money. I said, I am done. And I says, we're not going to do this anymore. And they're panicked, of course. And I says, I will not leave this company in debt. I will not. But I got on this massive campaign to pay everybody off. It took 6-7 years or whatever, and left it debt free.
That's outstanding.
That's also a big adjustment.
It was a huge
It is
adjustment because I said, I don't really care what you do, but we're going to pay cash for it. That's just what we're going to do. You want better computers, you want, another location, you want whatever you're going to do. We got to figure out how to pay cash because I am tired of going to the bank. And I mean, we had a home that we'd use for a home equity loan or whatever. And I went to my wife. I said, how many times do you want to pay for this house?
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I mean,
and always be under the umbrella of fear.
We got it paid off, and then we paid it off again, and we paid it off again, and we paid. I mean, and again, you got to get a great banker, and Lincoln is blessed with many of them, which is fabulous. But my need for borrowing money was over.
That's good. And that is important. I mean, when you start out in business, you really have no choice. It's kind of like buying your first house.
Yeah.
You don't have a choice. You don't have 300 grand laying around wondering what to do with it. You're going to have to borrow. But in time, as you're building that business, don't just take all that money and go on vacation. You need to do that.
Well, we weren't doing that.
It took a while, right?
Exactly.
I think my kids when we started our business, we had two little kids. I think they were like 5 and 6 by the time we took our first vacation. And it wasn't all that long. So,
I think about the amount of time that Brian at Ascend Chiropractic is probably counseling people, to talk them out of their fear before he even does an adjustment. So a lot of businesses get in trouble because they know they need to make an adjustment or they need to pivot. They need to do something different, but there's fear involved with that.
Yeah.
So imagine your two partners who are, picturing the big growth, more sales, more money, and you come to them and go, no, stop, we're going to do this. And it's just, those adjustments sometimes can be very, very tough.
absolutely. Well, that's I kind of like that segment. You know what? I should give credit to my wife. She did come up with a lot of these ideas for our new segments. So, and I know she's not listening right now, so I can give her credit and I can pretend like I never did.
She
and
will
take it myself.
She will listen because we have a YouTube for
That's
402
true.
Business Insider. You can find us on Spotify, other places like that. We have Facebook page 402 Business Insider. So
And I'm
go
on
there,
tape.
like our page.
Yep. Well, I have to give her credit now. I have to own up to the fact that a lot of these were her ideas. So very good. Well, that was sponsored by Ascend Chiropractic. When your business needs an adjustment, when your body needs an adjustment. So get in there, get things handled before they get out of hand. Ascend Chiropractic, ascendchiropracticne.com. So go check them out, talk to them. And right now we have another break coming up here. So you are listening to the 402 Business Insider, Travis Filing, Gary Tharnish, talking with Tim Kirkpatrick, I almost said chiropractic.
I love
consulting.
it.
I'll
There
give you an
we go.
adjustment.
Lord, do I need one now. We will be back right after this.
In business, one story at a time. 402 Business Insider on 1499.3 KLIN.
Welcome back to the 402 Business Insider. I'm Gary Tharnish with Home Design Real Estate Group, and my co-host and very good friend is Travis Filing with Transformation Marketing. This segment is brought to you by Red Rhino Roofing and the Lincoln Chamber of Commerce. Boy, Jason and his staff down there are doing an amazing job.
They are.
The Chamber's always done an amazing job, but Jason just brings in a breath of fresh air down there. Today, our guest is Tim Kirkpatrick, who is now a consultant, previous owner of Office
Interior design, right? Or,
I almost said office exterior designs because we all love working outside. This morning would have been a great day to work outside, 80-mile-per-hour winds. No problem.
Yeah, buddy.
But anyway, Tim, we've enjoyed having you today. And in this last segment, let's talk a little bit about consulting. You're doing consulting now. So what do you want business owners to know about hiring a consultant? Say I want to hire a consultant. What should I be looking at or thinking about?
Well, you got to make sure it's a good fit. I am pretty selective as to who I do things with and the area of expertise. I don't take on jobs that I don't know a lot about. For instance, had somebody come to me and they say, "Oh, I want to be on Instagram because that's the fastest growing, blah, 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 blah. And I says, I'm not your guy.
Yeah.
I know people that
Yeah.
can do this, and I'm happy to put you in touch with them. But I says, this isn't what I do. Other things I'm able to do, but my first client, this is interesting. The sale of the company was announced. New ownership's going to keep me on for 2 months. And so it was out that I was leaving. One of my customers, who was an advertising agency, called me up and they said, will you come help us? I said, what? I mean, they're smart people. They're creative. They do websites. They do all this cool stuff, you know, campaigns, you know. I don't know anything about that.
Right.
They said, we make a lot of money. We never have any. We're broke all the time. I said, that's cash flow. I says, that's an easy fix. I can do that. Well, it's easy for me. They had absolutely no idea how to do it. I don't know how to do websites, you know, so things that I can fix, I will. And my wife was so excited. She went out and had those cards printed. She was afraid I'd have nothing else to do, but it's turned out really kind of fun.
That's awesome. That is awesome.
But it just, you stay with something that you know and don't try to represent yourself as something that I'm not. Manufacturing, I'm not.
Yeah,
that's not my thing.
So look for a consultant that has a strength in what it is that you need, right?
Yeah, it doesn't have necessarily
makes
be
great sense.
furniture or
Sure.
office desks or whatever else.
Sure.
It's the basic fundamentals of certain types of business. So if you need help with payroll, Tim's your guy, right?
Yeah.
No,
And I'm thinking like once a year, just pay once a year.
That's right.
And then everybody can plan and you have nobody to pay.
So one thing that I've been fascinated with and dream of someday is selling a business, right? And I know Gary's gone through it. You've gone through it. Tell us a little bit about what it is when you're planning to sell a business, because I'm slowly getting to that age where I might need to be thinking about it.
Well, it's interesting. All these little seminars and accountants and articles, you know, and not that any of us have done anything illegal, but we may have, I don't know, maybe charged something to our company that maybe wasn't 100% a business expense or something. Never would do that. Never would do that.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I know,
But anyway,
and nobody
go ahead.
does, but you're actually,
New to
you know,
me.
we've all been coached to do that stuff. And so there's a little bit of that. And so one of the things that was interesting is that anytime we did that, I coded that expenditure. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So I knew I wasn't keeping 2 sets of books, not that.
I get what you're saying.
But if somebody came and said, okay, what's your business doing? Well, this is our numbers. I mean, that's easy. But, you know, if we weren't, you know, I don't know, this is back when you got a subscription to the newspaper. Well, you know, that was a business expense.
Sure.
Right? It was getting delivered to your home. You had to read about businesses at home. So, you know, you got rid of all that stuff to someone who did not have ownership. This is the true number that it has. And so they could actually look at that number, and they call it recasting, and they recast those numbers. And I'm sure some of these businesses, I mean, they got airplanes, or they got country club memberships, or they got all kinds of cool things
Sure.
that they think they're going to walk away with.
Or even lunches.
Yeah. Or
Yeah.
whatever.
Big
Okay?
in my business.
Yeah.
You know,
Any real estate.
take
business.
all that out of there. This is what it really generates. And now you can have that conversation with somebody as to what the business will actually throw off.
That's interesting. So was that had to be helpful to the
Had to
people
be-
that bought your business?
Had to be very helpful. And it was helpful to whatever banking relationship they were going to have.
Mhm.
And so, yeah, that was great, because they could, I mean, the bankers know it's like, okay, well, this is what you've been showing every year, but take out some of this stuff and maybe another 10% got to the bottom line.
And it is kind of weird because you do have to, I don't want to say hide, but taxes are a thing. Taxes are a big, big thing when you're in business.
Well, again, here's a cell phone. Well, was it for business? Well, of course it was for business. Oh, you never made a personal call on it. Well, yeah, okay, 10% of the time.
Okay.
Yeah.
I call my cell phone my cash register.
Yeah.
Literally, if it says potential spam, it may not be, and that could be a big commission. You just never know. Now it is most of the time. So, but anyway, that is very important. I've got, this is going to be a huge question, but because to pick just, I think of, the 38 years I had my business, to pick out one thing. But if you could pick out one thing, what's the biggest business lesson you've learned over your business career? One of the biggest takeaways where you're like, if you're talking to me and I'm thinking about opening a business, I'm 28 years old, never done it. What's the one big thing you can tell me? Try to get this thing right.
Whether you own the business or not, the thing is you never stop learning. Never.
Bingo.
People
That's
think,
so
oh
true.
gosh, I went and I got my degree and I'm done. I never have to open a book again. You're just getting started, people.
Yeah. Right.
And so you're never going to be the smartest person in the room. Surround yourself with smart people. My brother taught me this trick. He had what he called an informal board of directors. Okay. These are just other business owners that he knew, and he'd have a situation at his company and he'd maybe call 4 or 5 of us and he'd say, here's the situation. What do you want to do? He might get 4 or 5 different answers, and then he might do none of the above. But he always made decisions that was informed decision rather than just, well, let's do this or let's do that. And kind of just a seat of the pants reaction. He thought it through. He got some advice. And again, he thought it was valid. He might use it. He might use part of it or something, but yeah.
And you never know what those conversations are going to change the trajectory. Just a little, somebody says something a certain way, and it may just alter your plan a little bit to make it more successful.
Yeah. And the speed of technology. I mean, if you're not learning and adapting and pivoting and making adjustments in your business, you are going to be lost. It is vital today to be able to do that. I needed to make a PowerPoint the other day, and I'm like, it's just something I don't like doing. So I hopped on ChatGPT. It made the most beautiful PowerPoint for me. That between that and Copilot on PowerPoint presentation, it was like, wow.
Yeah.
Thank you.
ChatGPT is wonderful, but I'll tell you, it's not as smart as people think it is.
Oh no. You
so when you do it,
yeah,
you got to be really careful about what you do and what you put out there. Read through it. Don't just assume. Very good. Yeah, this has been a lot of fun, man.
It has. So Tim, if somebody wants to get a hold of you and possibly talk about consulting or anything, what's the best way to do that?
I'm invisible. You can't find me.
Okay. Well, great.
I do involve myself in some of the different networking groups in town. I'm not that hard to find.
Sure.
No, I do not have a website, and I for sure do not have a Facebook page. And I'm sure that I'm missing a ton of business, and I'm just fine with that.
Got it. So it's a personal thing. Yeah,
it really is. And
well,
I'm a person-to-person. People
Love
talking on phones,
and a lot of our listeners, they know how to get a hold of us.
Yeah,
we know how to get a hold of you.
Yeah, I've lived here for 55 years or something, so I'm not hard to find.
Outstanding. Well, Tim, thank you so much for coming in and chatting with us. I appreciate it. Again, Lincoln, a lot of traffic lights are out, so be careful as you're driving around. Give yourself a little extra planning time. I see Robin's heading into the studio here, so stay tuned for Grow Lincoln with Robin and Dave. We will see you guys next week. You're listening to the 402 Business Insider, Travis Filing, Gary Tharnish, Tim Kirkpatrick, and we will catch you guys next week.